one is how to implement mindfulness at home. So I've been thinking of the different ways in which you could implement mindfulness, and in this video I'm going to talk about a few of the ones that I find most helpful but also simple to do. I would like to begin by helping you think about yourself as water. And if we think of specifically the water in the ocean, each of us could be like the water in the ocean. We have moments of being nice and calm, and we have moments of being agitated and almost like feeling like in a storm, where the waves are really high and really low, and the ocean seems everything but calm. So each of us have the ability to be both agitated and calm. Now, why I want you to think of water as yourself is because we know the ocean has it within it to be calm again. So when you're being written by the waves of your thoughts that are causing you to stress out, to be worried, or to feel that you cannot stop, remember that just like the ocean, the waves will calm down and you will find calmness, and all is within you. So compare yourself to the ocean, and as you begin this process of mindfulness, know that you have moments at home where, and at work and anywhere else, but specifically at home, where you may not feel calm. You may feel everything but in the moment. And that's okay, that's part of this process. And so it's finding moments to recognize, becoming aware, okay, I'm having a moment of not being calm, and allowing yourself to come back to being calm is something that you can do. Calmness is within all of us. So that's something for you to keep in mind. I thought we'll talk about peaceful breathing. You have probably heard about meditation being about finding your breath, and the same is true for mindfulness. One of the easiest ways to connect to the present moment is by finding your breath. The good news about your breath is that it goes with you wherever you go. So as long as you can remember that you're breathing, become mindful of that breath, come back to your breathing. This is something that at home is obviously easier to do than in other places because we have more downtime. But the idea of mindfulness is that you don't become aware of your breathing just as you're calming down, or as you're going to bed, or as you're meditating. Mindfulness, like we said earlier, is the informal practice of meditation. So it's a form of meditation as you go about life. So throughout your days, it's finding the moments to remember to connect to your breathing. So as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm also aware of my breath, whether it's long or short, fast or slow. We're always breathing. So it's bringing your attention, connecting to your breath. It is that simple. Peaceful breathing, it is about acknowledging that you're breathing, not necessarily changing the way you're breathing, but tapping into your breath. So that's one great way of being mindful at home, tapping into your breathing. And by the way, guys, if you have little ones, this is something, or teenagers for that matter, that you can teach them. Let's become aware of our breath, and you can have competitions. You can write down each time you became aware of your breathing throughout the day and see who noticed it more. So that's one way of incorporating mindfulness into your life. And so I thought, why not do an exercise now of peaceful breathing? So I'm going to guide you through this exercise. This is something that you can also do, and it will help your mind stay focused on the breath. And so I'm gonna ask you to sit comfortably, and if you want, you can close your eyes down, or leave them open. But if you're gonna have them open, maybe not so much looking into the video, but maybe find a spot right in front of your feet and rest your gaze there, your eyes there. So I'll give you a moment or two to get comfy. And we begin by just observing the breath. We never force the breath. We allow it to be natural, with awareness of breathing, Naturally, our breath will become deeper and slower and more peaceful. For your next inhale, repeat in your mind, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Repeat in your mind, in your next exhale, breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Now, you can repeat that exercise multiple times throughout the day. It is simply bringing awareness and words into what you're doing. Breathing in, I'm aware I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware I'm breathing out. Another mantra you can repeat while you're breathing in and out could be breathing in, I see my breath is long or short. Breathing out, I see my breath is long or short. So same concept, bringing awareness into the quality of your breath, noticing what's happening, whether your breath is long or short. And saying that as you're doing it, is that connection of the mind and the body in what's happening right now. And the last one is breathing in, I follow my in breath. Breathing out, I follow my out breath. Simple phrases that you can definitely repeat as you're doing something around the house. Now, this doesn't only mean you can be in that relaxing place, repeating your meditation as a form of your mantra as a form of meditation. These exercises, you can do that as you're engaging in any activity at all. Why? Because you'll be breathing regardless. So it's bringing your awareness to that moment. So as a peaceful breathing exercise. As we talk about mindfulness in the home, I would like you to start setting up or thinking of setting up a nice quiet corner, a space, a chair, any place in your home that belongs to you. And it's not the place where you sit and eat. It's not the place where you sit and cook or watch TV. It's a corner that you're dedicating to being your breathing space. It could be a cushion in the corner. It does not matter. Something dedicated for your breathing space. So start thinking about your home. Talk to the people in your home and say, this one cushion is a very special cushion. It is my breathing space. And sit down and maybe practice some of this peaceful breathing as you're at home. And I'd like to challenge you to not wait for the perfect conditions so that the dogs are not barking, so that the husband is not drilling something into the wall, or that the children are not talking. All of that could be happening, and you can still be breathing in your breathing room. So I don't want you to think and wait for perfect conditions, although if you do want to be in silence and there's people at home, you don't want to be interrupted. There's nothing wrong with letting people know, I am about to sit down and do my breathing. Please do not come and interrupt me. But I'd like to challenge it, especially as it comes into the home environment. It doesn't have to be the perfect conditions, because we breathe all the time anyway. But it is going to your corner and dedicating some time to restore your nervous system. That is the importance of a peaceful breathing, or breathing with awareness. It resets the nervous system, so it could be just as good as sleeping 8 hours. And it's just a little time that you're giving yourself to yourself. How long do you need to spend in this space? It does not matter. The frequency is what's more important. So you want to make sure that you're doing that often. I personally have one big orange chair, which you will probably see in the email or in the written content of this section. And that's my chair where I sit every morning as soon as I get downstairs to feed the dogs, let the dogs out. That's my space. And I sit there and I connect to myself before I start anything else in my life. And it is a beautiful chair. It's really sad that I only use it for that. But it kind of started naturally, and that's what I do for with that particular chair. So it is my relaxing chair, and I don't know if you guys can dedicate a part of your home to being your breathing space, but know that it doesn't have to be as big as a chair. It could just be anything. I want to also talk about something very important in my own practice of mindfulness, and it is simple, yet it can be so powerful if you practice it, and that is transitioning from whatever it is that you are outside of the home, whether that's work, a vacation, wherever it is that you went, into your home. And there are a few ways in which I personally do that, and I welcome you to try them and see what works best for you. When I used to be a child protection worker, I had a highly stressful job, and all day I would be in and out of people's homes, in and out of court, in and out of an office with a group of highly stressed social workers. And I remember thinking, coming home as if nothing ever happened, and it felt almost like I had brought home my work and the high levels of stress. And it came to a point where I wanted to make a difference. No, work is work, home is home. And home became my little sanctuary. And so if you guys go to a retreat, if you guys go to a yoga practice, if you go to church, most likely you guys change your clothing and go into this place, or wash your hands in between two sessions and do that. So I started doing the same. And as I come into my home from work, I make a point to, not always, but sometimes shower, to leave that, especially if it was a highly stressful day, I make a point to shower and shower my body off that day, that kind of day that I had. I visualize that, and every part that I'm soaping and removing that kind of stress from my body, I intentionally tell myself that is like a really long day, and so I need to shower before I even begin to socialize with the people in my home. I let them know I gotta shower quickly and I'll be back. My husband doesn't know I have this routine in my mind. He doesn't have to know, but I have it, and I know he benefits from me having that routine. If it is not such a stressful day, regardless of what kind of day I had at work, when I enter my home, I wash my hands, also symbolizing I'm letting go of work, and I change my clothing. And it doesn't always have to be to jogging pants and long t-shirts, not pretty Olga. It can also be, I'm dressing up for my home. I feel good. It's going to elevate my mood. So think about that. Think of those transitions and in what kind of attitude, in what kind of mood are you walking into your home. If you had a long day, if everything went bad today, is it really your husband's fault, or your children's fault, or your boyfriend's fault, or your girlfriend or your wife's fault? Not really. But you have that moment of transition where you could transition into a better moment, or you could continue to make that day even more difficult. Because if you come home in a bad mood, likely your behaviors and your attitudes towards people in your home could not be super friendly, and that would generate more conflict. So think of that transition and dedicate some time to doing that. When you enter your home, you're entering into a mindful moment of work has ended, or grocery shopping has ended, or church has ended, or visiting the in-laws has ended, and I'm now entering into my home, my space that I create, and I am going to make that transition smooth. So whatever helps you, whether that's a shower, changing clothes, washing your hands, or simply telling yourself, or doing your breathing exercise right away, do something to transition, to mark that transition into your home, and to make a new attitude come through, so that you can have a mindful stay in your home for that period of time. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, mindfulness at home. Guys, this is my favorite thing to do, and it's 100% scheduled in my calendar. Not every week, although I wish, but at least once a month I have it, and that's a lazy day. Now, if you hear the words lazy, I don't know, the way I was raised, lazy is the enemy. You want to be everything but lazy. However, acknowledging that our bodies need time to rest, and embracing the art of non-doing has been by far the most healthy thing I've done in the last 10 years. And not only healthy, but it's also made me have more efficient days after that. I used to run my body all the way till there was absolutely nothing left to give. I wouldn't stop. I gotta go, I gotta do. I was a I will do kind of person, and I noticed I had a really low immune system. I was getting all kinds of colds and flus, and if anybody at work had any little bit of any illness, I would sure get it. I would go on vacation, guys. Has that ever happened to you? You're healthy all the way until you go on vacation, you take time off, and then you're sick. That was me. And those 2 weeks will be wasted me like blowing my nose, going to the doctors, getting prescriptions for some kind of lung infection. I came to understand that was the result of never taking a lazy day, never taking the time to rest when my body really needed it. And so although I thought I was being more efficient by not taking sick days, and I was so proud of this at work, I'm the kind of person who never takes a sick day, I came to understand that, wow, long term, this is what's making me sick, and for longer periods of time. So before you even get sick, your body begins to tell you, hey, by the way, we're not breathing properly. We don't have enough water. We're not eating enough. So listening to your body becomes very important, especially as you age and you get to know your body better, and your body speaks even louder, and we gotta listen to that. So scheduling a lazy day is something that you do at home. You don't have to go anywhere else. You could just be at home. It's a scheduled day in to be on your pajamas all day. Do whatever you want, but hopefully nothing. And letting go of that guilt where you are thinking, I should be doing. No, it's a scheduled day where everybody knows this is my lazy day. You give yourself permission to not do the laundry, not do a lot of cooking. Maybe you order in, maybe you cook the day before and you have food for that day. And not only is it amazing for you, but imagine the people in your home. You're giving permission to everybody to have a lazy day. And once again, I think a lot of parents, if you're listening to this, allow your children to have a lazy day. One day where you're not parenting on from morning to night, like clean, clean after yourself, go shower, go brush your teeth. That day you're off. Anything happens and it's okay for one day. Of course, as long as your children are safe. I'm not going to encourage anything that will put your children at risk, but the essentials of parenting can also be put to rest on a lazy day. Try it and let me know what happens. I am very curious to hear all of your conversations about the suggestions made for week 1 on our Facebook page. Both Shani, my assistant, and I will be looking at the Facebook post often, replying to you often. If you have discovered new ways of introducing mindfulness, we also want to hear about it. So go home, or if you're home, start practicing this. Make the point to put into practice the exercises we've given you today, the suggestions we have given you today. If none of this speaks to you, just remember they're invitations. I have no expectations of you trying everything that I'm saying. Some things will speak to you, some things will not speak to you, and sometimes nothing will speak to you at all. So take it home, digest it, and see what of what I've said rings a bell within you and you think that may be of my benefit. And try it without any expectations, without looking for a specific outcome. Begin to do some of what I've suggested if you feel like doing so, and notice the changes in your life, and then let us know. Have a great first week, guys.